of last split. Maybe they can reignite those flames now, but first they got to get through FlyQuest, a team that a lot of people were underestimating at the start of Spring Split. A lot of people had them placed bottom 3, but they end up taking top 4.
Yeah, they took 4th place, but it was a best of 5. They went all 5 games against Phoenix 1. FlyQuest just kind of tooth and nail fought their way through the playoffs to get to that 4th place spot. And a lot of people were like, all right, when's FlyQuest turning back into a pumpkin? You think back to the beginning of spring? FlyQuest is in like 1st place tied with Cloud9. Had the battle of Cloud9. It's like, what's going on? And then it started to go downhill. A lot of experimenting happened, and a lot of those pocket picks came out that didn't really work for FlyQuest. But then they turned it on at the end, and like you said, they got 4th without a lot of those cheesy strategies that people were saying wouldn't work out.
That being said, remember that both games yesterday, the outcomes surprised people. You had CLG take down Cloud9, and you had Immortals take a victory against Phoenix 1 as well. It's a brand new split. Anything can happen. Everybody's got a clean slate, and both of these teams want to be starting off strong. Bans are done. Galio, Kassadin, and Lulu banned away by Fox. FlyQuest going to go ahead, take Xayah, Kinnan, and Zac off the table. LeBlanc, first pick by Echo Fox, with Zyra and Elise being the response by FlyQuest.
Yeah, interesting because LeBlanc hasn't been a champion that we've been seeing a lot of play from. It's the question of, is this still the Gunblade build from her? Is this still the teleport split push build from her? Is she getting a Banshee's Veil as well? Second, we'll see what that does to her. But FlyQuest as well, going for elimination on the Zyra, and then Moon picking up the Elise here. And I want to see what this leaves for Acadian in the 2nd round, because it looks like they aren't picking his champion anytime soon.
Nope. With the Ashe and the Tahm Kench locked in, that means that Echo Fox is going to wait to pick both their top laner and jungler, unless that's a strange Tahm Kench flex top. They're going to be waiting to pick those till the 2nd round of picks after the 2nd round of bans, while FlyQuest will go ahead, match the bottom lane picks completely by picking up the Jhin for the AD carry role.
Yeah, interesting here is that Keith, in his last 18 games, has played 14 Ashe games. And then the other 4 are all Ezreal. So Echo Fox really put him on either, Keith, you're safe, or you're starting the engages for us. This will be his 15th game in 19 games of Ashe.
That is a lot of one champion. And granted, Ashe was very sternly entrenched in the meta for a while. It's not like this was some crazy off-roll pick or something that nobody else was playing. It was a very common champion to see, but 14 out of 18, and I believe of the remaining 4 games that were Ezreal's, 2 of those Ashe was banned.
Yeah.
So it could have been a potential 16 out of 18 Ashes, if not for the bans. Keith, very familiar with being on this champion.
But they also took the Tahm Kench for Gate, and that's going to keep Keith safe on a champion that isn't very mobile. So Echo Fox could be going for a 1-3-1 split push with LeBlanc in his side lane, see what they get for Looper later on. But this will be interesting because they have the potential to start fights with the Ashe Arrow, but they also have the potential to disengage fights with the Tahm Kench, eating Keith and running away.
Second part of the ban, some jungle focus from FlyQuest with Lee Sin and Olaf being banned away, while Echo Fox looks more towards those solo lanes with Cassiopeia and Jarvan taken off the table, as now FlyQuest thinking about what they want to do for this 4th pick. Looks like it's Karma locked in.
This is so interesting. This Karma would most likely be mid for high. There's a potential it goes somewhere else, but I mean, Lemonation, is he going to play the Karma support led signature for him? Are we going to get the head nod, or is it going to be Zyra?
Could it be Zyra mid?
I don't think so.
That's very strange.
But regardless, it's not really that great of a composition already for somebody like Jhin. Jhin wants to pair up with the Zyra so you can have this double root bottom lane. Also, Jhin is a champion that I think is a little bit overlooked right now, because Death's Dance first item on Jhin with Warlord's Bloodlust, so hard to push him out of lane. He'll take Doran's shield, and he just becomes a sustained monster that actually does a decent amount of damage that is very hard to kill. So if Wild Turtle's out of position, gets caught, he has so many ways to sustain himself that it becomes a little ridiculous.
Graves and Gragas, the pickups now for Echo Fox, going with that classic fighter in the jungle that has sort of seen a fall off from the amount of insane pick rate, ban rate that he had before. Acadian, a player who was able to put in a lot of work on Graves. Not really too surprised to see him picking up a champion that stylistically matches like that. Looper on the Gragas in the top lane. The response to that from FlyQuest, Renekton for Balls.
Yeah, Balls with the Renekton champion that he's very familiar with. This will shove in on the top side, but right now at FlyQuest, you're looking at a kind of mixed damage team because they have 3 magic damage dealers, 2 physical damage dealers, so it's got a good spread, but it's a little bit heavy on the protection from mid lane, which you wouldn't really expect, but the Karma is quite good into the LeBlanc. That's most likely why they picked it after they saw the LeBlanc pick, to say, all right, we're just going to go ahead and throw this in there, make sure you don't die, I can take teleport, I can sustain this lane, wave shove it out, and be able to match in the split push.
Absolutely. You've got to have some sort of way to deal with a split pusher like that. Or you just need to be able to pull the trigger in a team fight, not address them, play your own game, and win through that mechanism. You can't just allow this guy to do whatever he wants, especially with a player like Froggen. Some of the best stats in NALCS in Spring Split 2017. Granted, their win rate didn't reflect that, but this team invests a lot into Froggen and a lot into his success in a majority of their games.
Yeah, Froggen had some of the best stats in terms of damage share, damage per minute for his team, but it was just not transitioning that as much as you would like for a team, and that's what Echo Fox struggled with. Great early game leads, especially during the first half of Spring Split, but then it really fell off. Acadian kind of disappeared. The advantages weren't coming from the jungle anymore, and then even before that, they couldn't transition off their solo lanes. But we'll see what Echo Fox looks like with the boot camp in Korea and up against FlyQuest.
You know, talking about Acadian as well, I'm going to have eyes on both junglers this series, Zyrene, because these are two guys the outcome of the game is heavily going to depend on. Looks like we have a pause for a moment. Just go ahead and keep talking a little bit about expectations while we work through this. Hopefully it won't take too long. But with these two going into the game like this, remember, harken back to Spring Split, especially the beginning of it, and what happened with these teams. What was the story of the victories? And Acadian was the one who was going off on Echo Fox. He was a guy who there was so many discussions around him about Rookie of the Split, and wow, what a performance, and look at how much he's doing for his team. Meanwhile, Moon, a player that didn't have the best impression in a lot of people's minds from his previous performances on other teams, is all of a sudden unlocked on FlyQuest, and he and High are running rampant in the early game, making the plays, setting things up. So both of these two have the potential to snowball their teams. Both of these two could really be the X factor.
And that's what you're hoping for from FlyQuest. You're hoping for the mid lane to be able to carry, the jungle to be able to carry, and also the AD carry position. But in this composition, they do have their Renekton top, so you are kind of putting a little bit of those eggs in that basket up top for balls on that Renekton, hoping he gets the shove on, hoping he can get some flanks. So FlyQuest, that's what you're looking for, is the confidence. I want to see a Wild Turtle that flashes forward. I think everybody does. You know, that was when he looked best. That was the pentakills back multiple years ago when he first got his start on TSM. That's the type of turtle that fans have been waiting for to reemerge.
Quick update on the pause situation. It appears that we've got an issue with glare. For I don't know exactly
staring
what
at them
is,
intently.
Yeah, somebody's got
it's High.
Some sort of apparently High has glare issues. So hopefully we can get those resolved, get back into game very quickly. But yeah, Wild Turtle, a player that you mentioned it when we were talking earlier, Zyrene, received a lot of criticism for getting himself caught, potentially having positioning issues, not playing as safely as it's looked at that he should.
Yeah.
But on a team like FlyQuest, on a team that's always making these characteristic and trademark aggressive decisions and just everybody's all in on the play, that can be a serious boon because you know that your AD carry is committed to this play. You know he's going to be in there doing the damage because that's what Wild Turtle does. He is pedal to the metal.
And I feel like he's become a lot more tempered. Think about it from this perspective. This is Wild Turtle's third team in 3 splits. And he was under heavy criticism in his last 2 splits. Even back on Immortals, it was Huni Reignover having to do everything. Whoa, Wild Turtle getting caught out. And then TSM, it's like, oh, well, they're going to get double lift back. Wild Turtle had to deal with all of that mentally, and I think that being on a team with High, being back on his 2012 roster, that's going to do wonders for his confidence. That's what I'm looking forward to.
It'll allow him to focus on his own play, let High make those big overall decisions. You can trust in the calls like that. High is one of the few players that can play League of Legends like it's StarCraft, just micromanage everything at once. He's in charge of every unit on his side of the map, and he knows how to make them work together as a coherent unit. We'll have to see if that sort of shot calling and team play that took FlyQuest to such great heights in Spring Split can allow them to make the climb once again here in summer. Again, he's going up against a guy that gets a lot of love from his team.
Yeah, up against Froggen, and we think back to Echo Fox in spring at the very beginning. FlyQuest and Fox were kind of the 2 teams that everybody was like, wow, these are the unexpected teams during the first half of the split because FlyQuest was up near the top, Echo Fox was smashing people in the early game, and everybody was like, what is the ceiling for these 2 teams? They both ended, honestly, a little bit worse than the way their trajectory was during the beginning of the split. So it's important that they start off the spring split here with a win, especially against each other.
Yeah, FlyQuest doing more than people expected of them by the end. You see, it's funny, right?
Yeah.
Because after the way they started off, people were looking at them like, oh, is this a top 3 team? And then by the end, people were surprised when they got the reverse sweep over CLG. And then when they took it to 5 games against Phoenix 1, so they were up and they were down, and then they came back up again at the very end. Echo Fox, meanwhile, some strong-looking games to start, like I said, especially from Acadian. But as the split went on, things got a little bit shaky. They were never really able to find their footing, barely managed to escape playing in the promotion matches, finishing 8th overall. Definitely looking for a stronger overall presence this split. Wanting to see if they can solidify that team play, make it so they can translate some of those early game advantages they find into actual victories.
Yeah, and that's what they were hoping the boot camp would do for them, because they didn't change anybody on the roster like we said. They didn't do that quick fix. And so we'll see what happens for Echo Fox here. Balls shoving out top, going for the ward on the blue, and Acadian went for a full bottom side clear, including his Krugs, and they'll spot him now. And Graves kind of fell out of the meta, but it has been Acadian's pocket pick. You think back even before Graves was meta in the spring split, Acadian was still playing that champion before anybody else was. And everybody else in the world was like, this is probably a good champion.
Yeah, Acadian definitely knows how to carry on this one. Froggen jumping in onto high, finding a little bit of damage here. Neither Acadian nor Moon has gone for anything just yet. Moon clearing out his jungle very thoroughly. Have to see which one of these two can get in there and get involved.
Yeah, the battle of the Brodies between Moon and Acadian. These guys absolutely love each other. They learn so much from each other.
Great.
They love playing against each other, and they hang out all the time. It's great. Their Twitter back and forth is some of my favorite, but they absolutely adore the other. And I think a lot of that comes from they were both in the challenger scene. They both spent a decent amount of time there before they came up. But now they've both had really good spring splits. I definitely think that Acadian, wanted to perform a little bit better, but I think the last time they met, Moon got the better of him.
I mean, even before this game, Moon's latest tweet, "See you on the Rift, bro. Acadian, love you." These guys, a lot of camaraderie between these two, especially when you've got all the memes and all the talk about toxic NA junglers. These guys got a lot of respect for each other. It's fun to see a couple of guys have that level of camaraderie, even when you're facing off like this.
No. High and Froggen have actually just both backed and TP'd. Moon looking for a play there.
Not yet. Acadian hanging around on the other side.
Oh, he got him
comes
still.
out. Froggen still trying to get himself away with the distortion. Flashes out of it. Chain's still going to proc. Acadian coming in. The root out onto high. Flashed away from the follow-up as Acadian has to flash too. Moon's not able to jump in with the repel. 2 health bars, both nearly extinguished, but they walk away.
Moon totally had that, and he let it go. Even if you just get out, auto attack again, you change forms, give him the red buff auto attack from Elise's range, anything. The repel after, it just seems like he fumbled there. He couldn't let him go. He really did love him.
Love you, bro. Let you go on this one. Everybody gets one. That's from Spider-Man, too. It's perfect. It's Elise.
You're killing me, dude. I can't do it. Oh, that's too good.
Close attempts at first blood. It was very close onto high as well. He almost dropped. He had to flash away, barely getting out of the second half of End of the Line. Both teams coming so very close to giving up first blood there.
Yeah, great cocoon from Moon to start it off, and then it was the turnaround there from Froggen with the long-range chain. The tether range is definitely longer than the Karma tether range on her W, so he was able to kind of counter the root and get out of his own. So the turnaround was important because Acadian is on this Graves that requires CC from his laners, and Echo Fox do have CC in all of their lanes. They just need to land it so that the damage can come through. That's kind of why we don't see too much Graves, is because a lot of people want CC from the jungle again. But now, with Acadian in on Echo Fox, they have run this type of composition before.
Yeah, when you've got a Gragas, when you've got an Ashe, when you've got a LeBlanc, there are setup tools to make sure that Graves can find that damage once he gets in. And of course, the burst will only become more extreme once he gets one more level.
Yeah, and the Storm Raider Surge is one of the reasons that, well, I guess kind of the reason that Storm Raider Surge became so popular on Graves over Thunderlords is the fact that the only thing that really stops Graves from doing anything is not being up in your face. Initial burst happens, he can be right up in your face for extra shots, and they value that much higher than the damage that you would get from an initial burst of Thunderlords.
I mean, when you think about it, Thunderlords probably adds enough damage to equal maybe 1 extra Graves auto attack. And if he's right up in your face hitting all the bullets, you're going to get multiple instances of damage equal to or greater than Thunderlords. Very, very effective for him to be running that Keystone. As Keith and Gate are pushed back underneath the turret. Very even CS right now between the two bottom laners. And these two bottom laners, we already talked a little bit about Turtle and the criticisms he's received. Well, Keith has not exactly been one who hasn't received his fair share of criticisms as well. We talked about his performance on Ashe, how he was put on that champion 14 out of 18 games, and it just seems like he was always someone who never found himself having a great game, especially towards the second half of last split. Looking to make more of a name for himself, more of an impression this time around, shore up some of those performances. and really have some highlight reels. High
they're
going to be
looking to
caught
turn.
out here. Going to be a 2v2, 3v2 as First Blood goes over to Acadian, and they bail before reinforcements can help.
Acadian starting off the summer the way he did in spring. First Blood for him, and this guy gets it all the time. You see it right there.
First in spring split with 17 First Bloods. Acadian knows how to make those plays count and really leave an impact when he first goes in.
Yeah, Acadian, so good at the early pressure, and Echo Fox play around that. It's just the mid-game that seems to get away from them. This right here, they miss chain, but then this cocoon from Moon hits Froggen just barely, but it's really, Froggen has done all the damage he needs to do. It's up to Acadian, who now has the burst to get in, get out. Storm Raiders helps him on the way, too.
And even though FlyQuest had the man advantage there, Lemon Nation didn't get to do anything in time, as now Wild Turtle going to be stunned up. The arrow coming in there, forcing out the heal from Turtle, but nothing else. So it's one summoner spell, two summoner spells actually, the flash from Lemon Nation as well.
Yeah, a little awkward there because Echo Fox actually haven't had their bottom lane back yet. Neither of them have, whereas FlyQuest's bottom lane have actually both back and purchased items, so there's more HP on Lemon Nation, harder to kill, and then you also have more damage and mobility coming out from Wild Turtle. So that was kind of an arrow to push them off, but I don't feel like that was one that you necessarily needed. I feel like you keep that arrow.
Interesting thing to note is that Keith did go for that Dorian shield start that we're seeing so prolific right now because of the changes to the item, how effective it is at keeping you in the lane, while Wild Turtle decided, no, I'm not going for that. I want to make sure I hit my power spikes as soon as possible, sticking with the longsword.
Yeah, the longsword, interesting because I thought it would be the Dorian shield, but he has the winning lane, the shoving lane. He's into a melee matchup in terms of support, so I definitely think that the longsword to go faster towards your Death's Dance is the right way to go. And we saw Wild Turtle there kind of go between Vamp Scepter and purchasing Swifties. Wants the Swifties for the mobility, the slowing down, or I guess reducing the slow of both Ashe and Tahm Kench so he can get away. But also, Death's Dance first item on Jhin, super good. So many things. He wants every stat on that item, and it makes it so that you die slower too. So how about that? I love that.
And for those of you who aren't exactly aware of what did change, it got 5 more AD, but the biggest change to the item, it went from 15% temporary damage mitigation to a whopping 30. It doubled. So you're only taking 70% of the damage up front. The rest happens as a bleed, which gives you time to be shielded, to be healed, to lifesteal. Any sort of way to get yourself out of that kind of trouble is there. Makes it much harder to pop somebody.
And that's why I think Jhin is a champion that could potentially be back in the meta because of this. The Warlord's Bloodlust gives him so much healing, and the fact that you can control that crit, where it'll crit off of your total AD. He gets so much AD because he's Jhin, and then if you crit it, it makes it so that it's doubled, and it's really, really effective on his 4th shot. So he can sustain in the lane, doesn't get bullied out, immediately gets Death's Dance. So even if you have to kill him like right away. If you don't kill him right away, he's not dying.
Deceptively difficult to kill if it's not instant.
And the great thing too is there's a few other items you can pick up after that that really help your survivability. Some people have gone Ninja Tabi on him. You can also go Guardian Angel, which is now an 80 carry item. And then you can even go Phantom Dancer for 12% damage reduction on top of that. You become very hard to kill.
Can make the job difficult for Froggen or for Acadian or for Looper or whoever finds themselves trying to dive onto Turtle. FlyQuest down about 500 gold. Pretty much the equivalent of the First Blood cost. That's the only advantage Fox has built up for themselves, so not getting anything else in terms of massive farm leads or anything. You can see about a 20 CS advantage for Froggen there in the mid lane, but the disadvantage in the top lane is the same for Looper compared to Balls, and Looper's somebody that I think is worth talking about now as well, because this is a player that had a lot of hype built up around him as he's coming into NALCS. Moon
Arrow?
barely getting himself away, but he lands down in time to still be caught by it. Still trying to escape if he can, but the damage coming through, and Acadian will show no mercy. Taking down Moon, getting the 2nd kill of the game.
And that was the bottom lane of Echo Fox making a proactive play together. Gate delivers Keith closer. The Ashe arrow comes through right in line. Look at this.
Oh, okay. High barely walking away from that one. Really got to be careful about that LeBlanc damage.
Yeah. And he probably has to back off and teleport here unless he's going to try to go for a Q. There it is. Mantra Q.
Right, clear some of the minions out, but yeah, you can't stick around any longer after that. Can you? Is he really going to tempt fate?
Well, all right. You can get this and then back. And
take that,
wave will
get
be
out of here.
equalized.
All right, that's fair.
Domination setting it up, trying to get Gate.
Gate taking tons of damage here. Stranglethorn's coming out. Thick Skin going to be used defensively. Keith trying to hold these guys at bay. Keep Gate protected,
Turtle has ulti.
getting himself back. Turtle opening up the ulti. Looper makes the rotation in mid lane. Froggen going to be brought down. There goes Keith. Can they find Gate 2? Meanwhile, High drops mid. Moon and Balls not able to do anything about that one. It's 2 for 1 across the map.
Looks like High died to the minions afterwards and still gave the kill over because he was tagged. Wild Turtle did pick up a kill down bottom with the Jhin ultimate. And now, Acadian gonna try to pick him up as he gets this first turret for himself and solo gold.
First turret blood goes the way of FlyQuest. Wild Turtle trying to get
coming down the top.
He used the heal. He gets the kill on the Gate. Wild Turtle.
That's
Acadian
what we want to
now
see.
Trying to chase after these guys. That's the Turtle style. Trying to escape. Will not do it. Elimination. Now having to run for his own life. Very little mana left to work with.
Acadian has
have
a
enough
spider
for a
behind
spell.
him.
Acadian's being closed in on by Moon. He knows there's no way out. He's trying to at least get Lemon on his exit. He does. Moon trying to cut him off. Acadian telling him what's up, giving him the dance.
Here comes High from the top side. Moon's gonna come in from the bottom here.
Acadian's stuck. There is absolutely no way out of this whatsoever. Cocoon comes over the wall. High still finding some auto attacks. This is taking a lot longer than it should. He sidestepped.
He's making him work for it. Run down, run down, run down,
Acadian,
run down.
okay, there we go. Shut down. It was a long time coming, but High cashes in, grabs himself his first kill of the game. Athene's Unholy Grail, his first item, going for a supportive style Karma, not that big AP type of Karma you can sometimes see.
Exactly, being supportive for his team, but look at this. The cannon minion, oh, he realizes too late.
The last caster minion auto.
1 for 1 there in the mid lane, but the down bottom ended up being the first turret gold going over to Turtle, a kill going over to Turtle, and then another kill because he got the flash forward to kill Gate. That's what we want to see from this guy.
4, 1, and 0 for Acadian, by the way.
Yeah, Acadian is doing work, but the big difference here is Acadian is only up 400 gold over Moon, but Turtle is up 1,500 gold over Keith. That is insane this early on. He is pretty much the gold advantage itself.
Yeah, Turtle's sitting exactly where he wants to be. Couple kills under his belt, Death Dance up and running. This is a Jhin that will be very scary heading into the mid game. And if you get an Infernal Drake onto Jhin, that is one of, if not the best champion in the game to have Infernal Drake on because of how high his damage gets, how effective that multiplier is.
Yeah, Death's Dance already completed about 13 minutes in the game. Turtle has 216 AD. Keith has 108. He literally has twice as much AD.
Wild Turtle going into this mid game will be one guy to keep your eyes on if you're looking to see who the plays happen around. Froggen, another person that you might want to be looking after, up to a 30 CS lead over High. Almost getting to that point now. He's got the revolver. Wanting to see what he decides to do.
Yeah, now what's happened in this game is the bottom turret has gone down, Infernal Drake is off the map. Play to the top side, play to Rift Herald, play to mid. FlyQuest will put their bottom lane in mid to shove it out and apply pressure to Froggen. Now, it's really where does High choose to go? What is the objective that's next for FlyQuest? I would think it's playing around Rift Herald, potentially topped or mid turret here, because there's something you need to get on this map. And you can see Echo Fox actually match that by putting Looper in the bottom side. So they'll probably put Balls on the bottom side of the map as well to match TP there.
You know, I really enjoy the changes to Rift Herald, Zyrene. It gives people something to play for other than a Drake before 20 minutes. You actually see investment in the top part of the map. You see wards, you see plays being made around that area because it's so valuable now.
It's really interesting too because it spawns at 10 minutes, and a lot of the times in matchups where you just have a shoving bottom lane, sometimes turret goes down 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 13 minutes, etc. And then the map is wide open, and a lot of people go, we got Drake, what's next? Let's go towards this top side of the map. And now there's pressure on the team that lost their bottom turret to both defend this Herald that's in the river and defend their top turret. And you can play between those two things as the team that's ahead.
Makes those early leads that much scarier for the team that doesn't have them, having to face off against that. Moon sweeping out this top part of the river, just trying to control the vision as much as he can. Froggen comes up. Oh, he got him. Going to be blocking some, but not all. And a Spider Bite will seal his fate. Froggen drops. And FlyQuest ties up the game.
Wild Turtle deadly flourished the return point of Froggen's LeBlanc because they threw so much damage at him off on the right side. He immediately knew he has to snap back to this within this time, and he's going to nail him.
Very well read by Wild Turtle, and that should grab FlyQuest turret number 2. Taking these guys up to almost 3,000 gold in the lead.
And you can see Froggen's just like, all right, Banshee's fail. Let's go. Make sure I'm defensive. Make sure I have something to protect him, because he did get counterpicked in that mid lane by the Karma. Acadian's going to try to get something back here, but it's just to defend.
Looks for a little bit of damage, but it won't even connect. He gets the smoke screen, end of the line, misses. Echo Fox on their back foot for now. Things working out very well for FlyQuest. Wild Turtle having an awesome opening so far after switching to this new team.
Right here, setting up, looking like they want to do the Rift Herald. There is Hawk Shot available, though. That's what you have to kind of worry about when there's an Ashe that they wouldn't face check completely, but I guess I'm wrong.
Acadian getting himself almost caught out there. Collateral damage used as an escape mechanism to buy himself a little bit of extra distance. Not available for the next fight, though.
Yeah, it seemed a little strange. They were waiting for the Hawk Shot to come through, but got a little bit impatient. There's Wild Turtle opening up. Target seems to be Gate.
Gate munches on Keith, trying to stay alive. Looper going to be blocking that fourth shot. Elimination getting himself a little bit too close. Arrow finds high. FlyQuest won't get any kills for their trouble.
Gotta watch out for Froggen off on the side, though. Echo Fox bringing him back towards the mid. Banshee's Veil immediately off.
Keep in mind, because he went for that Banshee's Veil, he doesn't have the Gunblade fully completed. He doesn't have that automatic slow to prime the chain hit.
Yeah, and that's going to be Rift Herald. Started up here by FlyQuest. The contest will pretty much be Keith and Froggen. There's the TP from behind from Looper. It looks like Echo Fox do want to fight this. 100% aware, though, from FlyQuest. And it goes down.
Rift Herald secured. Looper's still behind them, but I don't know if this is going to lead to a whole lot of anything. High going to pop the flash just to make sure. Looper's still on the flank. Gets one barrel onto Moon, but that is it.
Yep, and this is pretty much Echo Fox get to push mid faster and go towards that turret. Wild Turtle will continue pushing out top, knowing that there's nobody in the river anymore. This would have to be a fast push from Echo Fox to get that mid turret and say, you just traded Rift Herald for this turret. They're going to have to get something in return for that.
Echo Fox will successfully secure that tier 1. Good on them for at least making some sort of objective trade. But like you say, now Rift Herald is available. How much will FlyQuest get with it?
And this is interesting because Gate trying to look for Wild Turtle. He's backing right there. I don't think it completes.
Nope. They found him, and he's got no mana. Doesn't matter how fed you are, you're pretty much just going to be using auto attacks here, and that is not enough. Froggen grabs kill number 2.
I understand the thought process from Turtle was a good idea to shove out that top wave because it's that whole teeter-totter, it's that back and forth of the map. If they're pushing out mid, you push out top so that they have to go top, and then you can go mid afterwards. But he gets caught because of the Tahm Kench. Gate with the Abyssal Voyage, and that was the right play there. And Turtle just overstayed. One wave too many.
And these are the kinds of criticisms that commonly find their way towards Wild Turtle. He stays too long. He's too far forward. Those sorts of greedy decisions that can win you the game. But at the same time, if your opponents are aware and they counter, it's trouble.
Exactly. Like when we say criticism, it's not unwarranted, right? A lot of these criticisms ring true with the player's playstyle, but there's always just a dissonance sometimes where if a team is not capitalizing on your death, if your team is not in a position to do so, then it's like flat out wrong. But if the team is setting you up for those types of plays and you're actually doing good, then it could be something that, well, is unwarranted criticism. But this one right here, definitely a death that was not necessary.
Still a 1,000 gold advantage for the boys at FlyQuest, thanks to the fact that they've got that small objective lead. Remember, they also have Infernal Drake number 1, Cloud Drake now spawning.
Exactly. Cloud Drake is the next objective to play around here for FlyQuest. They lost their mid turret, which is honestly the worst turret to lose out of your first 3, because the fast push, the distance between your first turret and your second turret, much smaller in the mid lane. The minions hit the tier 2 much faster than the side lanes. So you can push faster if you're Echo Fox. You can also Tahm Kench ulti to other lanes a little bit better. Think of how like TF does it. And then you also have the central part of the map between the 2 objectives pushed in at all times. So it's actually kind of good for Echo Fox that they're in this position, and they actually stand a good chance of getting back in this game with picks. Arrow up.
Echo Fox wants Wild Turtle, but the arrow won't find anything. Turtle can just walk himself away from that one safely. Froggen finding some damage onto High, who's stunned up, shields himself, but doesn't really get a whole lot of anything accomplished with that. Just loses 2/3 of his HP. Meanwhile, FlyQuest deciding to start up this Cloud Drake, saying, okay, we can rush this one down. Let's do it. Looks like it's not going to be much of any contest. Moon secures that. But meanwhile, Echo Fox, top side, Looper pushing onto the tier 1. Acadian here with him. This should tie up the turret count, bring that gold very, very close. But Rift Herald mid lane.
Yeah, Rift Herald used mid by Moon. They have a push advantage here. It's only Keith. This is a great Rift Herald usage. It's going to destroy that turret, and it will get to hit this next one too. This
can't have a push
so
with a Rift Herald.
Good from FlyQuest. The position of Echo Fox, it was right to get the top turret for the Cloud Drake, but they lose 2 off the Rift Herald push. Exactly how it should be played.
You cannot try to race against a Rift Herald. You will lose that every single time. FlyQuest now trying to back away, but Looper's looking to cut him off. Try to find that flank. Deadly Flourish onto the Fat Man. Gate gobbling him up, taking him to safety, but High's going to be taken very low as well. Ball's in retreat. The rest of FlyQuest also backing away. Nothing coming out from the fight.
Yeah. Looper got rooted and then threw out the ultimate, but got picked up by the Tahm Kench, and that's what they're looking for with that Tahm Kench pick, is having Gate make plays across the map, but also save people. He did his job in that fight for sure. Ardent Sensor as well for High coming out early, but look at this. Look at this. Moon was backing, but there's the TP. They're suspicious. The ward goes over, and they see this. FlyQuest aware, but they don't have everybody there.
FlyQuest needs to try to get in position for this if they want to stop it. Baron down below half. Echo Fox still sticking with the call, wanting to make it happen. Balls exhausted. Baron below 2K. Echo Fox trying to take this down. They've got it. Acadian with the secure, but now can they get away? Looper over the wall. Moon's going to be slain by Froggen, as now Acadian still retreating. Keith trying to get back as well. Balls does not want to be chasing this any further. Acadian dodging away from some shots. Gets hit by the second one. Arrow comes out, doesn't find anyone. The back completes. Acadian will be the sacrificial lamb. He and Looper fall, but they get Baron for the trouble and take Moon.
Yep, they end up trading 3 for 2. Oh! Nope, it's 2 for 2 at the end of all of it. Echo Fox, that was a bold call. They just FlyQuest. They got that Baron right near the spawn at 22 minutes. Super fast pickup. That's what you're looking for from a team that didn't make a lot of mid-game proactive moves. Echo Fox are behind. They're suffering from a lot of their mid-game problems, but that was totally the right play. That was well done. And I think that was super bold. That could have backfired real hard.
Definitely could have. You can see Balls trying to stop these guys here.
But watch Keith. Keith is like, no shots into the Renekton. Baron, just hit that thing. Nobody is attacking any of the other members of FlyQuest. They just want to kill the Baron, and it gets burst down, and then it's the retreat here. Looper gets over the wall, and Wild Turtle flashes to finish it off. Another aggressive flash from the AD carry, but then Froggen picks up Moon on the side, and then the Wild Turtle snipe doesn't go for Gate, goes for Acadian instead with the slow. And then Keith gets back in the bush. So yes, it ends up being 2 for 2 in terms of the overall trade here, because Froggen gets one back on elimination with the burst. But man, 2 for 2 and a Baron? That is
any day. Game's tied up again now. Echo Fox showing off what they learned in those Korean boot camp games.
Yeah, play to win, play fast.
No reason to sit around if you can make a play like that. It's a risky call, but we talk a lot, Cyrene, about how risky calls can be what brings you back when you're behind.
Yeah, and I want to talk about what this sets up for Echo Fox now, because Froggen 2 levels up over High because he's been grouping a whole bunch and supporting. Then now the Gunblade online as well as the Banshees fail. So Froggen is ready to split push, ready to deal damage to these turrets and pick people off. And he's going to try to do it to High right here.
High not having a very fun time facing off against that kind of damage. You talked about LeBlanc typically not having the best time against Karma, but when you're like this, when you're in this condition, 50 CS up with 4 kills, you can really do some damage.
Exactly, and it's the split push. This composition from Echo Fox built to 1-3-1 or 4-1 and rotate quickly with the Tahm Kench. If you stayed around as Karma, you know you're going to get Abyssal Voyaged here. So there's so much pressure on the FlyQuest to not stick around, but they're getting pulled across the map here. And this is just really well played from Echo Fox to get themselves back in the game and ahead.
Less than 1 minute left on Baron buff. Echo Fox so far have got themselves that tier 2 turret with it. Can they find another one here? They've got the minion wave being cleared out for now. Froggen getting himself away, still trying to scare High off of this wave in the top side, pressuring onto that inhibitor turret. As Turtle and Moon just trying to wait out this last 30 seconds of Baron buff, defend against the waves. Very scary propositions now for FlyQuest after that Baron was taken. Completely flipped the momentum of the game on its head. Echo Fox very happy with the outcome of that call. Froggen again just going in. As Looper bottom side should be able to finish off this tier 1. I don't see anybody from FlyQuest wasting the time to save this.
And this first pick, LeBlanc, is just paying off as well. Froggen's been able to make a lot of picks, has the highest KP on his team. And this is what you like to see from this guy. Highest CS on his team as well. Like, he's really doing work here. We talked about his mid lane stats being some of the best. This split push champion with the TP, this seems to work out for him. Remember, they're playing things like Twisted Fate, trying to make sure they had map pressure from Froggen at all times. This is a champion that can do that as well.
Stealing away the enemy jungle, taking as many resources as you can, making sure the lead is built by every small margin.
And this is super good from Echo Fox too. 40 seconds before the Cloud Drake spawns, they back, takes 8 seconds to do that. They're going to run and be right there near Cloud Drake on spawn. And this is the perfect time to do it, too. Echo Fox, this seems a little bit rehearsed. Everybody backed for that as well. You saw Froggen, instead of continuing split pushing, goes back at that timer so that they can all hit the Drake.
And with Froggen hitting his Void Staff now, he's that much scarier. Every defensive bit that you try to itemize against him, every point of magic resistance is going to be that much less effective at stopping that burst from coming through.
And also a Hex Drinker for Keith and Ninja Tabi. I love that he has both resistances and that he's built a little bit more defensively here. We see Arrow actually do this a whole bunch where he gets the Hex Drinker third item. And just a great defensive option here that'll help keep him alive.
You saw the graphic pop up on the screen a second ago. 3,653 gold from the Baron power play for Echo Fox, bringing them not only back from the gold disadvantage, but catapulting them into the lead as they go for the Cloud Drake. This will be their first Elemental Drake of the game. There will be one more spawning if they take this one now. Have to see what kind that will be in just a moment. And Ocean #1, so relatively ineffective Drake will be the final Elemental, but it will add another stack towards the Elder counter if the game should go that long.
Exactly, a little bit, I wouldn't say completely worthless at this point in the game, but it's definitely one of the lesser value Drakes. Taking the
It's so nice if you get it early.
Bottom lane, exactly. But now, with Acadian, Phantom Dancer, and all that damage behind him, going to do a lot to this turret as they're setting up here. FlyQuest really don't have a surefire way to engage, right? They have the disengage. If you're running into this FlyQuest team, they feel pretty good about it. They can cocoon to disengage. They can use the Karma Shield. They can use the Wild Turtle Root and Lemonation Zyra as well.
Anything from Zyra.
Yeah. But engaging, it's kind of Wild Turtle has to get a pick, or Zyra has to get a pick, or Moon has to get a pick, so it's not really this, you jump in and you go for it. But look at this. Let's see what Froggen can do to Balls. He doesn't have much MR, just a Negatron Cloak.
Taken under half. Froggen still looking to chase more here. Dominus popped. Froggen jumping himself away, deciding grabbing the ulti is good enough. Doesn't want to be running into any kind of a FlyQuest trap. The FlyQuest getting that turret, having Balls take the T2, at least keeps that objective count even, keeps the gold very close. This is still anyone's game, Zyrene. We've been talking about momentum in the favor of Echo Fox, but it could easily go back towards FlyQuest. These teams are teeter-tottering.
Yeah, everybody backing right now, resetting and spending their gold if they can.
Baron in 20 seconds means there's going to be a fight, like it or not. And they've got to be as ready for it as they can. Teleports up for all 4 solo laners in this game.
Yeah, High is a little bit away from his next item. He's sitting on 1,400 gold right now. Lemonation.
Tries to flash it, but the chains are too long. Froggen on a rampage. That's a big pick.
Yeah, huge. 100-0 there. He's looking for another.
Won't find that one. Gate eats the Deadly Flourish. Not really too concerned about it.
And this is just an awkward position for FlyQuest. They don't really have anybody who can ward in that area. Moon would have to get really close, but Fox will pick them off. They do have the Scuttle Crab, though, and there's the Ash Arrow.
Arrow onto Balls, who's supposed to be the tank. Ooh, an unfortunate cask knocks him away. FlyQuest top laner is going to live, but the problem is that's your front line and he's at half HP. That is not Baron ready. Going to have to back and probably use the TP here if they want to contest this one.
Yep. Looks like the good flash from Balls, but finally High gets his death cap. Needed the 1,700 gold. Finally got it exactly. TP in that area. Moon has to get close to ward.
The first Baron put him in the driver's seat. If they can get the second one, it might be enough to take him home. Echo Fox thinking about it. FlyQuest not willing to let them get it for free.
Yeah, Echo Fox are looking for picks or a fight here. Froggen just going for picks, and Keith going for those arrows. Root onto Balls.
Balls forced to pop the Dominus, going to be shielded now as well. Gate caught out, Stranglethorn's down, thick skin used, but he is done anyway. Bench that hinge. Echo Fox in retreat as the curtain call opens up. Looper has to run for his life. The 4th shot finds him. But FlyQuest will head back towards Baron.
This Baron for FlyQuest, they now get the inside track. They'll clear out some wards as they enter. But this top wave crashing into their inhibitor turret. There's TP to top from Looper, I believe. No, yeah, that's Looper coming in. Froggen from the right.
Fox are not going to let them walk away with this either. Froggen very deadly. Remember how fast that burst comes down. If somebody gets low from Baron, he can jump in and go for the assassination. Balls has no ulti. Froggen from the side. Elimination going to be looked for. Froggen grabbing the kill. Unstoppable now. High going to be forced to run. Acadian grabbing that one. Moon going to be taken down next. A double kill going the way of the Echo Fox mid. Balls is done. FlyQuest is aced. And Acadian grabs a triple kill.
And there's a top wave to push as well. They're going to push this, get this inhibitor. They may potentially And we'll see what happens here. There's the TP. They're trying to take advantage of this full team kill.
FlyQuest finds disaster, and Fox finds a beautiful success. An army of minions waiting on them. 8 seconds on elimination, 15 on anyone else. This is GG. And Echo Fox, in a close and back and forth match, will take game number 1.
In 32 minutes as well, the mid-game didn't strike them at all. They had the Baron take, continue their momentum, and then it was just fight after fight going their way. Definitely off the back of Frog in there, as well as the whole team having some pretty good performances.
7-2-1 from Acadian, 7-2-3 from Frog, 14 kills in the whole team. Every single kill on one of those two. Putting the team on their back, doing what needed to be done. Acadian making the plays on the signature champion. Froggen, we talked about how much this team likes to invest in him, how much they believe that he can make things happen. It showed how that can work this game.
Absolutely. Froggen really kind of decimated 2 levels up for himself. The split push to LeBlanc, the first pick, really definitely did work for him. And that was a game that was back and forth during the early parts. We saw Wild Turtle get some early kills, about 1,500 gold up on his Jhin, but then the transition from that, where they got the Rift Herald, they went down mid, looked really good for him, but it was that sneaky Baron. It was that Baron that
changed it.
That Echo Fox, we've seen them have some nerves. That was nerves of steel there, where they just kept dealing damage to it, and they were 100% okay with people dying to get the Baron. That was a decisive call.
And keeping them in the game to the point where they could make a call like that, they got to that point because of some of Acadian's early game plays. He was able to get the team going, able to set them up. Let's take a look at some of those right now.
Yeah, this is the first blood here. Another one for the guy. Level 6 came in, and then they went after high here. Even though Froggen got all of his damage off already, just blows him up, and they both get out scot-free. And then this was the return. The arrow onto Moon after the flash came down a little fast after the repel, and then he just gets blown up there afterwards. Another kill going over to Acadian. And the chase down here, this is right after Gate died on the bottom side. Acadian, this guy's such an early aggressive jungler, and this really set the team up for success because Froggen got some of those kills as well. But like you said, only the 14 kills, 7 on Acadian, 7 on Froggen. It's pretty much ideal for how you'd want that game to go.
And Acadian's early game setup into Froggen's mid-game presence. You mentioned how he had that split push pressure. There was no answer for him. High could not answer it. Balls could not answer it. If Froggen was in a lane, you pretty much said, okay, we're done. Yep. I'm walking away. This is yours. We got to make a play somewhere else. There was no way to deal with that. And it ultimately led FlyQuest to being in a position where they decided, hey, we've got an opportunity to go for Baron. They make that call, but instead they get aced. A quick replay of exactly what happened 31 minutes in. Let's take a look.
This is the game-ending team fight with that gigantic minion wave top, and Looper came in with the body slam flash at the right moment, and an Ash Arrow actually literally just came off of cooldown, and they were waiting for it as Keith nails it right into Wild Turtle, but the fight is pretty much over after the entrance of Froggen and Looper into that Baron pit. Really just took that over so quickly, and that was a game that when you look at Echo Fox from Spring Split, aggressive early, some of the best early game stats in the whole league, and then it just fell off, mid-game problems, didn't know exactly what to do on the map, but we saw this Echo Fox, it's only one game, I'm going to draw a lot of conclusions from it.
Right.
They were baiting Baron better than they had in spring. They were baiting around it. They kept throwing Ash Arrows out from Fog of War, complete vision sweep, and making sure that they were in a position that had the upper hand in terms of vision over their opponent. It was much more calculated than what we had seen previously.
And this team, yeah, it's one game. It's one chance to actually see what they've been doing, the improvements they've made between the splits, but it's promising. That's the important part. We're not starting this off of another game where Acadian's trying to hard carry and everyone else isn't doing their jobs, and it just seems like sort of a mess after the early game. This team looked good. From the Baron call to being able to get back and then just not throw things back towards their opponents. A lot of times you sort of see those sort of instances where a team gets ahead, then they decide to get too aggressive with it. Maybe they're saying, okay, we got the Baron, let's try to take an inhibitor turret or something crazy. Echo Fox didn't do that. They played it safe, they played it smart, and they found the win.
Yeah, it really didn't feel like FlyQuest had too much agency during that mid-game because their composition was built to play around an AD carry that really can't do a whole lot, and you want to be engaged on that team. If you're getting picked with Ash arrows and etc., or flanked or kind of ripped apart by this LeBlanc who's going to split push, the composition doesn't function very well. The Karma needs to be grouped up with your team. You want Elimination to disengage, but it was kind of forcing them to try and make plays, and Echo Fox played appropriately at the right distance, and if they were ever engaged on, you have the Tom Kench to get away. So I thought that the draft definitely went in favor of Echo Fox, and they played it better as well.
You mentioned, even during the end of the game, the lack of initiation tools on the side of FlyQuest, saying this team works if you go at them. If they have to go at you, it's kind of sketchy. That's a problem when you're up against a team like this, when you're up against a team that'll make those kinds of crazy plays, because sometimes you need to be able to say, okay, look, Echo Fox is doing something risky. We got to go.
Yeah.
And if you can't go, then all of a sudden it's not as risky. Echo Fox can get away with it. You have a 21-minute Baron, and things go down pretty quick.
Yeah, especially when you're up against a team that has double TP and you have a Karma mid, and the Karma's trying to counter and run teleport against the LeBlanc. It'll work out during the lane phase, but Frog had picked up too many kills during that mid game that he was able to be up over high, pressured him in the split push, so I didn't really have too much of a chance to group up, be a part of these team fights, throw out damage even, and that's really what I think I would like to see changed in the next game, is high on a different champion other than the Karma, and if he is going to stick to the Karma, more hyper carry potential for Wild Turtle, and also Elimination, playing a pick comp against Elimination seems to work out for them. Froggen was definitely all over him. He didn't really get to play too much League of Legends.
Yeah, he was having a pretty fun black and white screen simulator there towards the end after LeBlanc got on top of him. But we're going to step away for a quick break. When we come back, it's Game 2 between FlyQuest and Echo Fox. Stay with us. You're watching the North American LCS. From the side, Elimination going to be looked for. Froggen grabbing the kill. Unstoppable now. High going to be forced to run. Acadian grabbing that one. Moon going to be taken down next. A double kill going the way of the Echo Fox mid laner.
There's an ace.
Balls is done. FlyQuest is aced, and Acadian grabs a triple kill.
And there's a top wave.